people on my computer. Oh, that's right, it's a big show, and I am your host, Jerk. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, and I think we have a little something for you all. A first-time guest on this show, a newcomer to the scene. I'd like you all to give a warm, big show welcome for our guest, the Tier 7 Premium Battleship, and star of their own breakout hit campaign. Give it up for the big mammy herself, Massachusetts! That's right, folks. This ship arrived in my port yesterday. Can we say that? Kind of sounds R-rated. Nah, if the censors say anything, we'll fix it in post. I got to take her out for a couple times last night, and I was enjoying what I saw. So after a very short match this morning in the Khabarovsk, I jumped back into Massachusetts, and this is the result. Third game in this ship, first Kraken. So I won't claim to know all the ins and outs of this ship yet, but I can give you some first impressions on her performance, which a lot of people are saying is generating some Oscar buzz. But before we get into that, let me put my commander setup used in this game on the big screen. Finally, a use for Willis Lee. And as with all brawling commanders, I've got him at 16 for maximum number of heals. And again, small sample size, but so far, I haven't even needed to use all the heals. I guess they're like Linus's security blanket. It's just nice to know it's there.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
Scratch another one. And Willis Lee co-stars are none other than Cunningham and Von Hipper. Cunningham really to keep their performance on point, and Von Hipper as best supporting actor, getting those secondaries out to 10.5 kilometers. As you've no doubt heard, these American secondaries are noticeably more accurate than the Germans. And combined with already better dispersion, if you like brawling, I think it's safe to assume that this is probably a ship for you. I will add that in my first game, my shots were super accurate, and in this match, they're a little wonky, so I'm not sure if I got lucky in my first game or unlucky in this one. One last detail of note, I feel the shells from these guns are a bit more floaty, so aiming will need to be adjusted to accommodate, but on the plus side, you can lob them over islands pretty easily. Alright, let's get to the nuts and bolts, the cheese and crackers, the twig and berries of this match. We are back in the land of Chobani, and the third largest producer of olive oil, Greece. This map, it might be getting credit on future pictures as a Kraken producer because it definitely seems to churn them out. You'll notice I spawned A side and once again no destroyers. Where are they? Did they quit? No, they're all on legendary tier. But when God closes a door, he opens a dress. So let's seize the opportunity to have some much needed fun. Myself and a friendly Cleveland are capping A. The Red York remembered they had a pizza in the oven and needed to leave the game before it burned, so they sailed right into us. Similarly, the Red Mogami and Shores were quickly escorted from the stage after sailing broadside to our Cleveland. Pro tip, don't do that if you want to live. And this Alabama right here, they've got some pretty good position. But with them just sitting there unmoving, adjusting my heading to correct my angling was very easy. So I can head south before getting a turn in to head to B. One of the nice things about this ship is it's fairly decent turn, so I have the ability to adjust my angle to get a shot off on the Colorado and then turn back out. Unfortunately, I don't get to sink it, but I can turn back out before that Alabama takes another shot. Similarly, our friend in the Gneisenau is sitting still spitting hot torps. And if you're in a bottom tier brawling battleship, another pro tip, you probably don't just want to sit still in front of an Alabama. Once I get in a little more cover, I'm going to slow down in the hopes that our Gneisenau has on will to rebuild and I will be able to keep them alive. I really wish there was some sort of visual indicator that would let you know. Fortunately for them, all the red shells hit a rock, and also fortunate for them, this salvo is only going to get this Alabama quite weak, while the Gneisenau's fire ends up putting them out of their misery. See, I can't really tell if that Gneisenau had will to rebuild on, so I'll just carry on my merry way, because like a moth to the flame, there is a Wichita. I'm going to have some cleanup duty now. And you know, a lot of getting Krakens is cleanup duty. Stay alive, clean up everyone else's mess. And this is why I prefer to be centrally located. I get access to just about everyone on the map, and can one by one remove the pieces from the chessboard. First we get that Poltava, who's just sitting broadside to me because I did move to create a crossfire. But I'll also be capping B and have access to every ship left in this game. And I hadn't even gotten into Kraken mode yet, because we outnumber them 5-3. But in the somewhat predictable plot twist, this is going to come down to a 1v1 situation. So I'm going to keep my crossfire onto the sea ships first, and ideally send this Wichita back to hell where it belongs. I know there's been some comments about why I'm always taking the piss on the Wichita. It's because it's an easy ship to play, and it's overplayed. That's why I give this ship such a hard time. Play other ships, guys. It'll make you better. Anyway, that Wichita is gone, and I figured now this Bismarck would be going down real fast too, but somehow it takes out our friendly Colorado down there. Well, I guess that's not that hard to believe. And here are some numbers for you number jockeys. All Tier 6 battleships have 25mm bows, which means the bow can be overmatched by any Tier 7 battleship. You need to have more moves than bow tank. Then again, the Colorado is about as mobile as a chubby kid on the playground, and I'm not body shaming here, just saying the mobility is inhibited by genetic predisposition. Or all of the ice cream. But I get my shots over the top, and that Bismarck has a little bit of health left, and it's trying to cap, so I'm going to try and finish it off right here. But who knows where those shells go. Like I said, they're kind of floaty, and I'm still getting used to aiming on this thing. So while I was rambling there, we've dropped down to a 3-on-2 real quick. I know that I can remove the Bismarck with ease. It's going to be low health. I just need to sit here until it's visible again. What I don't know is the health of our friendly ships, and you can see I did a quick look around to see how it would go. I'm going to take out the Bismarck right here, and conveniently at the same time, our last battleship goes down. So now it is the Kraken hunt. I'm looking at the shores. I am being supportive here. Get back. Mostly because I don't want them to get this last kill, but also, you know, they have 0 health. If they get spotted, they are going to go down in an instant. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event, and we are making our way down to the ring. In this corner, Apollo Creed, and in this corner, Rocky Balboa and his friendly assistant Shores. Nope, no more Shores. Well, both of us are pretty full health, and I don't know this player, and they don't know me, for all I know. Which, speaking of, side note, guys, thank you for all the friend requests, but please hold off on that. We will do a subscriber play along once I start streaming. Anyway, back to this. So, this is where it's going to come down to some tactics. And you can see that this is one of those situations you see all too often, bow tank v bow tank. And I mentioned this in the last video. Switch your shells There is no reason not to. Basically, if this guy continues to sit bow in like this, I know, I can get some damage on the superstructure. It's not going to be a lot, and my reload is every 30 seconds, so why not shoot HE? Let's start some fires and get this guy burning, because usually when that happens, somebody starts moving. And when somebody starts moving, that's when you have the opportunity to exploit their mistakes. And that was an example of the trolley dispersion. Those things were right at that Massachusetts and they went elsewhere. I know he's got 30 seconds or so to reload, so I'm just going to turn and get my rear turret off real quick. And I do get that ever precious fire. They're going to get another shot in at me, and I think, yeah, okay. So they've put out the fire. And I am going to go ahead and put this salvo in. It didn't really matter whether I started another fire or not. I was switching back to AP because, as you can see, once they got put on fire, this Massachusetts started moving. And the thing here is, this is a guaranteed win. Well, unless I do something ridiculously dumb. But if they ram me, we're already up on points, so it's a win. And now my secondary start another fire. I know that one's permanent. So I'm thinking I'm going to get my guns here ready for a drive-by. But it becomes obvious that this guy has something else in mind, which is a ram. But again, that would have been a win. Nonetheless, I don't want to give anyone the satisfaction of sinking me. So, yeah, you can see they didn't really give me the angle for the drive-by, so I just unloaded anyway. And they're doing the move that most people do when they fail a ram, and that is expose broadside. Now, the biggest problem that they're going to run into here is land. And once they run into this land, it is like a dog rolling over on its belly, exposing itself to me. And it's like, here, pat me. Pat me right here. And this is going to wrap it up for this one. Kraken 184 in the Massachusetts. So that's our first look at the Massachusetts. I imagine I will be playing this ship quite a bit more, and I think this will become a certified Kraken printer. And if you're debating whether or not to get the Admiralty backing and pick this ship up, well, I give it 2 thumbs up. I think it's probably going to be the hot new ship for a little while, so familiarize yourself with its Citadel location. Thanks for sticking around until the end of the show. If you've been waiting to give Willisley a job, hit like. If you're going to pass on this ship and just keep playing your Jean Bart at the back of the map, hit dislike. Comments, questions, requests, suggestions, whatever, leave them below. And if you're suffering from dry mouth or panic attacks at the thought of missing my next video, hit subscribe and call me in the morning. I'll get back out there for another one, and we'll talk soon.